So El, thank you for having me here. And also thank you for demonstrating to me that as the game director, you will be killed in your own game in an instant.
Yep. So that's what's fascinating about it. That it is universal. It's the same for everybody.
Yeah. Before we come to the game, please introduce yourself. Who are you? How long have you been working on the game and the predecessor?
So I'm Al Hope. I'm the creative director of Alien Isolation 2. I was previously creative director of the original Alien Isolation, and I worked at Creative Assembly for a very long time.
And Alien Isolation was really something different for the studio, which was in the beginning doing sports games conversions mainly for Electronic Arts, then moved on to the Total War series. And then something completely different was released with Alien Isolation. So how difficult was that internally to adapt to a totally new genre?
Well, I think what's interesting about the original Alien Isolation was it really came from us. Like nobody asked us to make that game. I was aware that Sega at the time had a license to make games based in the Alien universe. And whilst previously most of those titles had been based on the James Cameron Aliens experience, which is very much about Marines shooting a lot of aliens, which is cool, which is a great experience. It felt like there was a really great opportunity to create an experience that went back to that original Ridley Scott movie, and I suppose I just had this idea that what would it be like if we could create an experience where it was just you versus that alien, that real one-on-one encounter.
Mm-hmm.
And we put it together a kind of mood demo of what that experience might be like, and it was quite amazing because every time we showed it to people, they kind of said, "Yes, we really like that." And so, yeah, I can see in some ways it kind of comes out of nowhere, but like you said, I had worked on the sports games team, and I knew that team. That team was really capable team, and it felt like this is something that we could absolutely do.
The game was released and it became a huge fan hit, but Sega seemed to be not so enthusiastic about doing a successor at first. So what happened in the years between?
Yeah, so we were super proud of what the reception in the first game received. It felt like we were doing something really different, and I think we weren't entirely sure if there was an audience out there that would connect with it, because it was a different type of experience. But yeah, over the last decade or so, it's been really wonderful seeing the reception and the fact that people are still discovering that game today. I mean, that's really testament to the work the original team did, and I think it still holds up really well. And if you play it today, you have a great experience. And I'd been thinking about working on the sequel, well, before the first game was even released. So we had ideas about what we'd like to do. I think why now? I think it feels like it was just the time was right. Yeah, we had some exciting things that we really wanted to do, and it was kind of things kind of fell into place.
In the new game, we are a new protagonist, a person called Blake, a female. She's some executive being sent to a colony. She was 8 months in cryosleep, and now she's there. And the planet, does it have a name?
Yeah, you're on a mining colony called Kurosaki, and yes, your Alien Isolation 2 is about this new world and this new protagonist called Blake. And we're really excited to share more in the future. But she's a new character that I think follows a really strong tradition of strong female lead characters. And obviously she's a character that hasn't experienced the alien before, so she's discovering things for herself for the first time. And yeah, there's more to talk about.
What I really liked is, coming from the first game, that it was outside, at least for a couple of minutes. Will you go back to that idea, or will it be inside for the rest of the game?
So I think one of the things we're really excited about with Alien Isolation 2 is having this really delicious mix of the old and new. So it features those really claustrophobic interiors where players are going to feel really trapped and they want to get out. And then it also features these really hostile exteriors so once the player actually manages to get out there for, like, they've achieved something, yes, I'm no longer trapped. But I think we've seen people start to, as they start to explore the exterior, they start to feel quite exposed and vulnerable, and
Because of the heavy storms and
yeah, it's a very hostile environment, and with the weather, which really affects your information that you have, and the Alien Isolation is about kind of information war. What do I know versus what does the creature know? And so it's this really nice mix of interior and exterior, because as the player explores the exterior and they start to feel vulnerable, they start to feel like they'd actually quite like to get back inside again. And so they ride this kind of seesaw of emotion and motivation, and we get to play with that.
compared to the original, at first glimpse, it's the same gameplay basically. You explore, you have to collect some resources, they are scarce, and then the alien comes at some point. And I guess, again, for a long time, you have no weapons against the alien. It's hide and seek, basically. So how did you try to improve on this basic concept?
Today we're just showing us a small glimpse. What you played is that focus on that core isolation experience, your core survival skills, about sight and sound and movement. But yes, like the first game, the game will have a host of tools and gadgets that help the player, if they use them maybe at the right time, change the odds of survival. Again, that's something we were looking forward to sharing more about in the future. It feels like for us, Alien Isolation 2 really does build on that foundation of the first game, but evolves what that first game did in interesting ways, and again, more to come in the future.
Yeah. In the first game, it came to a surprise, maybe to some, that there was really not only one alien. And can we expect something similar in the second game? Because now you only had this detached HasLab, where the alien is in.
Yeah. So I think for us, the heart of the game is that game of cat and mouse, the hide and seek. It's that one-on-one experience, and so that's the kind of the core of the experience, and I suppose the aspect that we focus on the most.
When I played the first game, and I hate to say this, but after dying 100 times, the level of panic you develop is no longer the same as for the first 5 deaths or so. So this is a real gameplay loop problem for you as a designer. How do you cope with that, to keep people dying or in fear of dying, but still not dying so often, like I did in the demo, that you become a little bit detached?
I guess that's for us about balancing the experience. I mean, we love the fact that it's a systemic experience. It's not unlike a lot of survival horror games, which are choreographed or crafted. You walk down a corridor and 100% of the people will experience the dog coming through the window or whatever, which is cool. That's great. But we love the fact that everybody has their own journey, that the systems will react to your choices in interesting and unique ways. And so everyone has their own story to tell as to how they survived. Our job is to help balance that experience. And so that's something that, one, give you some tools, more tools than you had today, to help you change those odds of survival, and give you more choice, more options to survive. And yes, our job is to help balance those systems so that you have this sequence of tiny, small victories. And that's everything from the underlying systems to even where the save station placement is. It is about punching that card into the save station and breathing a sigh of relief and deciding to carry on.
In the first game, there were levels where the alien would not be, and there is still some discussion if in other levels there was a kind of rubber band drawing it to the part of the level you were in. I guess that is true, right? So it was not really all the time searching for you in a big level.
I think different areas had different underlying setups. But for Alien Isolation 2, it's very much our intention that the alien is able to reach anywhere the player is. And so I think a lot of the time the player puts a lot of perceived pressure on themselves that even if the creature is further away, that it could appear at any moment. So sometimes, yeah, that is a kind of perception thing on the part of the player.
But still, it can be frustrating to the player if he's dumber than the alien, for example, like I proved to be.
Well, today it's kind of...
This was the moment you had to say, oh no, you're not dumb, you're a very proficient player, you were just unlucky.
I think we kind of put you in the deep end today, and it's still early, and so there's some things that we could do that would help support the player, communicating more of those choices. Like I was saying, there's multiple ways to escape, or multiple paths and multiple choices. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the reasons we're showing the game so early, is to try and learn a little bit more about how the player interacts and their individual journeys, so that we can take that feedback back and thread that into the development. I mean, that is one of the approaches that we're taking, which is different this time. So that we are doing much more real world testing with real players to get that information, so that we can fold that into the experience.
What I always like in such games are near misses and second chances. Now with an alien, once it gets to you, there are no second chances, or do you think about, for example, some kind of armor, and it will at first hit the armor, rip it away, and you can still...
So I think for the creature we really want to honor, I guess, what the first Alien movie represents, where the alien is this unknowable, mysterious creature that kind of represents death in some ways. And so I understand your desire, but I think we need to honor that. And so if the creature is able to get to you, that should be
the end.
At the end. But we want to give you more opportunities to divert, distract, disrupt, and find ways that you can have those near misses, but through your actions.
There was one synthetic in the short demo, so I guess they will be there as a sort of relief opponent you can have a shot at from time to time, like it was in Alien Isolation.
Well, yeah, the Working Joes were super popular inclusion in the first game, and as you saw one today, it's safe to assume that they're...
So will there be other opponents apart from those two? And maybe humans, of course.
Well, there were some other humans in the demo that you saw. They were along with you. Again, this is something we're going to be looking forward to sharing more about in the future. We really adore the first movie, and for us, that is the kind of wellspring that we draw our inspiration from. Alien Isolation takes place not long after the first movie.
Before the second one.
Before the second movie. And Alien Isolation 2 takes place months after the first game. And so we're very much still in that first movie window. And so again, we draw our inspiration from the original movie, which we feel is still super rich in material.
And the latest movie tried to recreate that and did not the worst job, in my personal opinion.
Love Romulus, and we were thrilled that the director of Alien Romulus put the Alien Isolation save station in the movie. That was such a lovely tribute to that first game. And obviously very exciting and thrilling for the team to see the thing that we created in Horsham in our studio to be up on the big screen.
Yeah. So last question obviously is, when can I be looking forward to dying a dozen times per hour?
Absolutely in the future. So we're not ready to talk about any kind of dates.
Okay. I hope. Thank you very much for your time and giving me this glimpse of Alien Isolation 2.
Thank you.